I have me a new skirt idea using tie-dye. I'm going to use that skirt pattern coming up. Hey, Chanel here, Queen of Skirts, bringing you tips, tools, and techniques for your fashion evolutions. So if you're new here, subscribe, and I'll bring you weekly doses of fashion sewing inspiration. This project came along because I needed to take this skirt pattern, which is in my size. What size is that? I don't need to tell you. Anyway, it's gotten larger. As you can see, I have a Band-Aid and dyed hands. I had a rough morning today. I cut my finger, I don't know how, and I was tie-dyeing last night, and so hot mess today. Anyway, where was I? I have to take this skirt pattern that I just made. It's part of my Queen of Skirts collections. One of my students did a cool little design. We call it the Chloe skirt. Just so much fun. Like this. And I need to, what's called grade down the pattern, make it smaller. And to actually really do it correctly, I have to redraft the whole pattern. And all these pieces were quite time consuming and quite the pain. So what I thought was I'd just take in the side seams like 1 inch, but that will actually really throw off all of these patterns. So I just need to test it. So I graded down the pattern and printed it all. I've got all new pattern pieces, smaller, and I thought just make it out of muslin. So, but I thought, why don't I, just in case it turns out really good, and maybe make it a little fun, is put it in tie-dye. Oh, my iron's going off. Put it in a tie-dye. So yesterday, I tie-dyed my little pieces of the fabric, because some of these are only like 3/8 of a yard. This bigger one's 3/4, and I actually really like this print. This was a 3/8 one. This is a navy. And I wish I had enough for that one up there. I might see about switching my colors around. I don't know. I threw off my pattern. I'd be more confused. But I did all these. I did the black one, and I don't like it. It kind of turned out gray. It's very muddy-like. That'll be good for zombie costumes or something. But so I got these 3. I got purple. I turned, instead of black, I did purple. So I'm going to do these 3. And then I have my black Supima cotton that is so luxurious. Oh my gosh. Joann's sells this, and they're not selling it anymore. They take all the good fabric away. I don't know why. Anyway, but we're going to put this in the middle and then all these tie-dye pieces here. So this is either going to be a hot mess like I am today, or it's going to be cute. Who knows? But I need to do a sample of it. And I thought I'd bring you on a ride with me, see how it turns out. I'm gonna get on to cutting it, and I gotta take this crown off it. It's too heavy, all these jewels, too heavy to cut because my head be down and be like falling down. All right, see you in a minute. Well, that was fun. All these pattern pieces, or should I call them puzzle pieces? It's a lot of pattern pieces. And when I made this skirt, I was thinking the same thing, but it actually went together pretty easy, and it was fun. It was like a puzzle. So puzzle pieces. The trick is to really make sure you catch all the notches, because once the pattern pieces come off, it just looks like a scrap of fabric, and you just have to work it one at a time. And I'm not going to take these pins out until each layer goes in there. So I'm going to get to that. Also, I'm going to put this ribbon in between each layer. To kind of offset and bring them together. I found this ribbon in my present wrapping stash this weekend, and I just happened to bring it to my studio, and I was like, that'll be kind of fun. So instead of piping or ribbon, I'm just going to use this is so great to put it right into the seam allowance, because my seam allowances are 1/2 inch This will fit right in there. I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Okay, the best way to start this is to just line them up. Got the front all puzzled pieces together and the back. And then I'm just going to start with the top and work my way down. I'm also going to make sure I get all my notches clipped, and then it comes together. Actually, how I mark the notches, I learned this in the factories in Los Angeles, is I just do like little tiny clips right there. Probably about a 1/4 inch snip. I've got a double or a triple notch here, and then I'll just make little snips right there, so I don't go out or make big, or the triangles. They're just snips, and that helps it out a lot. Okay, so I got my trim cut in half. I used pinking shears on it, and then I'm going to be putting them into between the seams. And I'm also going to think about how the seam is going to get pressed down. So I'm going to put, this is number 1, this is number 2. It's going to go like this, and I'll be pressing the seam this way, because I want it to look like that. So then I'm going to pop that there, and then I have to find the notches right here. This is going to be tricky. Very tricky. I'm going to put a notch right here, and this is 1/2 inch right here, so it should line up perfectly. And this gets, maybe I should baste this in here. It's going to be a lot of stitching, but I think I'm just going to try to wing it here. I'll just stitch that, and some of these have to be actually stretched. Let's see. Yeah. And this will get stitched in there like that. That's why the notches are so important, because some of them have to get stretched because it ends up on a curve. Very hard to do this with a Band-Aid on. Okay, and then this right here fits really good, so you just got to use a lot of pins. There. Okay, that will be my first one. I'll sew it 1/2 inch. It will look like that. All right, got it in there. Looks pretty cool. I love that ribbon. I actually had a little struggle here. I had this a little short and this a little long. I did the seam allowances perfect with 1/2 inch. I used my seam guide, and but the ribbon was moving around in there, so it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but I'll get it in there. So this next piece I'm putting on, I'm pinning on the ribbon first to find my little notches, and then I'm going to put this on here. I just bought some silk pins. I should be using them, but I started. My notches are matching up really well there. Let's put some pins here. That. Got all these, lots of pins. Those who use clips, they probably don't work here. Okay, lots of pins. I'm gonna go sew that one. That came out nice right there. Just have to know which way you're going to be pressing so that you set the ribbon in there right. Now I got to put a ribbon this way, but I think I have to put it on the black because I'll be pressing that down there. So I have to do this black one and cut all my notches. All right. Well, got the front done. See, how's this go? Oh, right here. Looks good. Boy, did I struggle with that one. You can see all my marks in here. I had to take it out a couple times, and then I literally had to go in and just baste the ribbon down because it just kept sliding all over the place. This black band right here has a bit of a curve, or it has a pretty good curve, but you have to kind of stretch it in between the notches, and I think that's where my ribbon got messed up. But there's the front. Looks pretty good. I think I'm going to take a break, come back tomorrow, and start on the back because I have a party to go to. See you tomorrow. I'm back to finish my skirt. I got my Band-Aid off. I have a little owie right where these pins go. So I picked this out right here and it sticks right into that owie. And when you put a Band-Aid on there, it's like makes it worse. So it's like I just have to try to get through this anyway. I put my front of my skirt on the dress form and it is looking so cool. I think I just wanted to throw these tie-dye fabrics in there to see about making it different and see what it's going to look like, but that's looking pretty neat. I think that's going to be pretty. I don't know, we'll see how it works. It's not going to fit me, but I have to get a model to fit it. So I came in and started my other panel pieces right here, and this time I basted the long ribbon on because that was where I got hung up there, and I made sure that my seams were going the right way. A lot of times you sew these and it will kind of twist around there. So I have my middle part cut out and all the notches, and I'm going to put the rest of that together, and then I'll do the side zipper. And on my last skirt, that one, I put the zipper on the wrong side. So this time I actually, there's really not a wrong side, but I had put it on my right side, and I tend to put stuff on the other side. But I like to put the zippers where there's less confusion on the side seam, and it will probably be there again. So it's on the other side because there's only 2 panels to match up instead of having to match these up. Bummer, that's a whole pattern issue. I'd have to redo the whole thing to get that there, but you know, whatever, it's a zipper. So I'm gonna get this done and I'll show you how it looks. All right, got my back done. Ta-da! Looks great. And then now I gotta put an invisible zipper in. I've got the front with the zipper prepared. I mark it, I only have 1/2 inch seam allowances on this pattern. So, but you can put an invisible zipper with 1/2 inch really easily. I put my 1/2 inch mark there, and then I prep it on the back side where I'm going to sew it later. Put the first pin in with the zipper. I always like to work with longer zippers because then they're just easier to put in. If you get the one that goes right there, the little glue stopper gets in the way of you sewing it. So, oh, and I also put interfacing on like just a fusible strip on there to give it a little bit of stability. So I have this marked. Wait, actually I put it on the other side too, just because I want both sides to kind of react the same. So put a little stability on the other side too, but this is my other side. As the back goes like that somehow. Got my invisible zipper foot. I'm gonna go put this in. If you don't know how to use or do an invisible zipper, you're gonna make this skirt. I also have a SewBit video on how to put invisible zipper in. And I don't know the exact number, but it's in the 40s. SewBit number like 40 or 41. I think I did a whole zipper series, like regular zippers and then the story of the zipper. And so who do you know who designed the zipper? Oh, it's the same guy who did the sewing machine. And I'm not going to tell you who it is, because you have to go look. Anyway, I'm going to put my zipper in. Well, I got the zipper in, and it looks great. It wasn't too bad of a struggle, thank gosh. But the hardest part of putting these visible zippers in is trying to get these exactly matched up when you have this splicing going on. And I was doing this pattern just to test it because I graded it down from a bigger size to a smaller size, and instead of redrafting it, I just wanted to size it down and check it out and see if it fit, and then make something in case it turns out. So I think it did. I'm really thrilled with this actually. And then my side seams here all balanced in really well. This is the one pattern piece, I think it's number 13 on this thing, that's been giving me trouble. And it did give me a hint of trouble too, so you got a little bit of puckers here, so I got to go in there and tweak it again. It's actually pattern number, I think it's pattern number 13, so lucky 13, oh well. But this just looks really great. I'm really thrilled with it. I had to put it on my size 8 dress form, which in the retail world is about a size 2, so so it's actually an 8. And it has some room in here because this dress form has no butt and it's completely flat. It's one of my favorite dress forms from 1985, and maybe we didn't have butts back then, I don't know, but so, and also the waist here, it's going to drop a little bit down here. I'm going to line it and then put that elastic binding around it. So, and nowadays, I mean, this girl, she's like a 25 waist, and nobody's, I think it's 26 actually, nobody's really 26 even if their hips are small anymore. So there goes my iron again. But this just turned out really great. I'm going to line it, put that elastic in there, and hopefully I don't have to put darts in here. My goal was, I mean, I really should because it's a woven, but I didn't want to put darts in there. So I have to see how it fits. So we'll see. But now I got my pattern. I know is correct. I had a couple little tweaks, notches not quite matching up exact, which is kind of typical. And as long as everything's 1/2 inch seam allowances, everything should match up. So I think I did that, so I'm not sure, but but it looks good. So I think I can go on and don't have to redo this whole pattern. So I'm gonna line it and put the elastic in it, and then I got to figure out what trim to do on the bottom of here. I actually want to get some black pom-poms, so I'm going to go to the fabric store and see what they have. I know they had some other kind of fur too, but I think this is a very artistly palette, so I know there's something for me there. All right, I'm going to finish this up, and I'll see you in a minute. Well, I got the elastic in, and it went better than I thought. I thought I was still going to have a little bit of a gap, but this fit just below the waist like really good. And I actually cinched it a little more than I was going to plan. So I got to cut this off and just add a little hook and eye right here, and then it's done. I also went ahead and stitched the lining. I just turned it inside out and sewed it 1/2 inch around. And I think I got my lining pattern correct. I was really working on that. I didn't do it right on the other skirt. I didn't quite do the pattern right. I did the pattern after I built the skirt instead of during it, so my pattern never was right. And then I did that pattern over here and really found out how it wasn't right. So, but I got that all tweaked. I think it's good now, and I'll have to edit that, get it fixed, because I have the patterns available for you. That's the reason I'm doing these skirts, and I'm going to have them on my product page on Future Fashion Designers, and all the written instructions and things like that, but working on that. So the pattern, this skirt's done. Now I got to add trim to it, although it looks pretty nice just by itself. It's a little daytime skirt, but if you want to make some fun on it, you have to add some white marabou. I think that's going to be really cute. I was going to go with black. I want to do pom-poms. So I might do, I don't know, I'm going to go to Joann's and look for, my little students were telling me about purple pom-poms or that kind of stuff, but they're a little too small. I want to get like if I could find a medium-sized pom-pom, I think it'd be great. Also, there's this lace I have left over from the other Chloe skirt, so this would be really pretty too. Kind of, this feels like a nice, like a 20s style to me, and I like it a lot. Then I have this feather that is from the other skirt, the Chloe's. I have it snap taped to go into the other skirt, because you have to dry clean. You don't dry clean these, but you have to dry clean the skirt and take these off, because these get all over your fingers as soon as you look at them. But this would be really cute on here too. So, but I just have to add snap tape, and this will probably fit pretty well. Although this was made for a little bit bigger skirt, so that's gonna be a problem. So, but so that's Chloe skirt number 2. It's my artist palette one, the tie-dye, and this is Chloe skirt number 1. And this is with the feathers right here. I just love it. And I'll go get some pom-poms and look around. The Joann's has a feather that's a little smaller than the black ones, and I think those might be perfect for this. So I'm gonna get a couple choices, and you can also just baste it on and then wear it and then take it off and switch it around. So it could be, daytime and nighttime. So there's the Chloe skirts. I wonder what I'm gonna do next. Don't know. There's a couple. I have this really great idea one, so I'm gonna start working on that. I don't know what I'm naming it yet though. Go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you want the patterns, go to the product page of Future Fashion Designers, and they're there. Okay, see you in the next video.